Congratulations to Wanathan Jick because they commented first on my last New World video and secured themselves an Amazon gift card. If you guys aren't aware, I do random Amazon gift card giveaways to those who comment, those who like, and for those who are subscribed to my channel. So good luck. I wish you all the best. We're doing a lot of different kind of giveaways this year, leading up to 100,000 subscribers here on the channel, which I hope to give away a big prize for that. So, but keep it locked to the channel for more information, and let's get into the video. I think it's safe to say that I'm really bullish on the state of Star Citizen as we enter into 2024. This year, from what they have outlined, looks to be one of the most significant years in Star Citizen's history. Now, could be just my ignorance speaking, but I'm gonna dive into a React video today. You guys asked me to react to Super Mac Brothers Star Citizen video. Star Citizen will explode this year, and that's what I'm going to do. I reached out to Super Mac. He totally approved me to react to this video, so I feel that's going to be a really good thing to do. That's how I'm going to run my reaction content. Before I even react, I'll just make sure I reach out to the original creator and get their permission to do so. Now, guys, his links are all in the description. Make sure you go give that video some watch time and some love, as it's a great way of supporting original content here on the channel. I can't stress that enough. So this is just going to be my perspective as a developer, as a new Star Citizen player. I want to talk to you about two things before we jump into the video. Hey guys, I want to take a quick pause in today's video and thank Raiden Eden Gaming for their Prime Ultimate membership. Because of them, the next 30 days, no mid-roll ads on live streams or videos for everybody. So thank you, Raiden, and if you guys enjoy the no mid-rolls, be sure to say thanks in the comments below as well. And if you guys want to step up and go above and beyond and consider becoming a member, membership starts at $3. We have a lot of great members here that have been with me for a long time. I'm using this money to help fund the development of my video game. So if you guys want to get involved, get some exclusive content and perks, check the second link in the description for more information. Thank you guys so much, but let's get back to the video. Like, kind of what am I expecting? What am I hoping for this year? Obviously, the technology, the server meshing is one of the most, it's the critical component to the content they've shown off with Pyro, to have those different systems. And I think that in and of itself is obviously going to be critical. Now, when that comes in, I know they're targeting, I think earlier this year, maybe like if we talk about the first 2 quarters, then that's going to be a big win. Obviously, they've communicated that they might be targeting 4.0 in the alpha sometime this summer. If any of this slips a little bit, that's fine, right? Like my goal for 2024 is to lose 60 pounds. I lost 50 pounds last year, and if I can lose 60 pounds this year, I'll be at my correct BMI. I'll be right where I need to be. Now, if I lose 50 pounds this year, I still won in this regards. And so it's obviously going to be, everybody's preference and personal view on that's going to be different. For me, if they're targeting summer but hit fall, they still got it. And I think that's going to be interesting. But obviously the technology underlying all of it is critical to the success. But 2 other components, the UI quality of life updates, like the menus, everything they kind of showed off looks really freaking cool. I can't wait to see that. That's all from the engine trailer. And then finally, the first person shooting in this game I think is great. And I can't wait to see where they take that here in 2024. Because I want to play the Star Citizen shooting game. That feels really cool, even if it's just in the Arena Commander. And I really can't wait to see how they evolve that kind of gameplay. Personally speaking, there's still so much I haven't experienced, but I'm looking forward to experiencing that with you guys in 2024. Anyway, guys, if you want to get involved in the community, you want to check out the other content that I make, top link in the description for the link tree is going to get you everything you want. That's the podcast, that's the Discord, it's ways of support beyond just watching. All the watchers here are supporters, but for anybody who decides to step up and jump into the channel membership, those are also really great ways of supporting the content, as I am working to make a game and using the funds that I can generate off of YouTube to help fund the video game that I'm making, and I can't wait to share more with you guys on that. Now, I've already pre-liked this video. That is the important thing. You can pre-like this video too for free if you want, and we're gonna go from there. Let's see what he's got to say. All right, a word cloud. I'm guessing this is the supporters.
AKA Mac, and welcome Today, I will be running through what features are expected to release in 2024 for Star Citizen.
Yes.
As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support, in particular to my latest channel member, Jandal. It is very much appreciated, and if you do enjoy my videos, please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow.
That's actually not a bad idea.
2024 is set to be...
That's actually not a bad idea. Shout out to Hex, who just rejoined at the membership level. Thank you so much for that support. We got so much to do on this channel, and I've got so many cool things ready to roll out for members, so it is a huge help, and it does make a difference here. Anyway, back to the video.
One of, if not the most significant and influential years for Star Citizen to date. There is so much work going on in many areas of development, from gameplay, features, ships and vehicles, core tech, and of course Squadron 42, that it is very hard not to get excited when looking at what Cloud Imperium are planning to release this year. Now, entering the new year, Star Citizen is in a great place to deliver so much of what is required to take it from an alpha state to a pretty polished and smooth experience. Will we see everything in this list release in 2024? Quite possibly, but of course it is possible that some features don't make it in on their expected dates, as that is often the case.
That's
However,
life.
getting any of these features into the game will certainly be beneficial.
Oh yeah.
So today I will talk about what features are expected to release this year, and the vast majority of them coming in the first half, as stated by Cloud Imperium. But let us kick off with core tech. Now, as we know, Cloud Imperium are currently running tests on the tech preview channel with the separation of the replication layer, just to see what its impact is in a safe environment without putting the live branch in jeopardy.
Oh yeah.
Now, although we have not heard about how well this is going, I have jumped into the tech preview channel a couple of times during this testing phase, and I can say that the build feels way smoother than what we have on the live servers, while maintaining a very solid server frame rate. Now, I have seen it drop to about 8 FPS for the server, but then it eventually recovers back up to 15 plus FPS.
15.
Now, the chances are Cloud Imperium will be pushing this to the PTU or to the live build out of the tech preview channel early this year, once they are back from their holiday break, releasing
Maybe
it
February?
in a 322.x patch. And once they have done that, that will mean a much smoother experience in the persistent universe for everybody, plus the ability to recover properly from a 30k, which is a very significant win. And then from there, they will start testing server meshing, as we have heard. 3.23,
yes.
Which is the Q1 patch, being the end of
2.3,
March, is when
end
they're
of March.
expecting to start rolling out server meshing. Chances are
That's
going to
happen
on the
fast.
tech preview channel, or with just using the Stanton system, having various shards within the Stanton system. But Cloud Imperium have stated that they are aiming for a summer release of Alpha 4.0, which means server meshing, jump points, and the pyro system. And again, this is just a target date, but if they can get 4.0 out in summertime, then that would be pretty phenomenal. If not, then the likelihood is...
And if they do that, you got my summertime plans on lockdown. That's going to be so much fun. So much fun. And if it shifts to the fall, then it shifts to the fall, and that's going to be so much fun. Man, everything they've shown off, especially if they get that into the persistent universe, let's go.
It will still be within 2024, just a little later. And from what I understand, this will just be static server meshing. There is still dynamic server meshing to complete, but ultimately that would then be the final piece of core tech done for Star Citizen, which means it is then just building the game and the features, and no longer the foundation. Now, if that is not enough, we recently heard about what features and gameplay are expected to release into the persistent universe within the first half of 2024. This means Q1 being the end of March patch, and Q2 patch being the end of June. Now, I will run through each of them and talk a little bit about what each one is,
2, 4,
but to save time, I
to
won't delve
4.0.
into them too much, as it would just take way too long. But these include gameplay and much needed quality of life improvements as well, many of which we have heard about and got to see at CitizenCon last year. Now, first up, again, I won't go too far into this because I'm sure we've all heard about it a lot. We have freight elevators and persistent hangars. Now, this is one of the
freight
larger
elevators,
changes
baby.
to the persistent universe that will drastically
this is
how
cool.
we all play
Hangars?
Star Citizen. And essentially, persistent hangars will
Y'all
mean that
tell
we
me
will have
about
a
this,
home
or am I
base
just
that we
learning
can
about this
return
now
to
the first
as and when we
time?
like, storing
Like a
our
home
ships
base,
and
right?
vehicles, our items, cargo, weapons, basically everything we own, acting as a home that we can decorate how we want with all of our items, meeting friends there, arranging and organizing missions together, and getting our ships ready with the equipment that we need.
Dude.
Freight elevators that kind of go hand in hand with this will enable us to do the storing and organizing of our items and ships,
Sweet.
giving us the ability to store these things in our global inventory and calling them up as and when we need them.
That's
now, these
nice.
two features will be game changers.
Yeah.
It will completely change how we interact with our gear and our items and getting things ready for the mission at hand, while giving us a place.
I think that's going to be interesting also in terms of both content creation, streams, etc. Because one of the cool things is that as I stream and as I play with you guys, y'all are excited to show me your ships. And one of the best ways to do that is you pilot the ship, you call it down, and we walk through it, and it's so much fun. This in and of itself also then adds to that level of showcase where it's like, hey, come to my hangar. Let me show you exactly what I got. We can do so much more. Chill on the couch, talk. Like, I love that social aspect.
Place to call home. I really hope that these are Q1 releases, but we will have to wait and see when the roadmap gets updated. Now, also rolling out this year are some pretty huge cargo updates. In fact, cargo will evolve likely to where Cloud Imperium have always wanted it to be, growing in scale from these small package deliveries that we have now to massive consignments traveling great distances to complete. These will all range in payout based on distance, size, and danger, becoming available as we unlock these jobs through the reputation system. Also, distribution centers, which I will cover in a separate video.
This game's insane.
Talk about it briefly in this video, are going to play a pivotal role in the expansion of the cargo career, all the while developing the dynamic economy, which is going to be an ongoing process throughout the year. Now, the cargo profession is set to blow up this year and offer jobs for all scales and interest, really taking that profession to not just the next level, but from what I can tell, a completely new standard as well, with how we interact, load and unload, transport and store cargo of all types. And seeing all of these updates slowly tying together is going to be something special to watch. And cargo hauling will be extremely open-ended with so much variety to each potential job, and I'm here for it all. Now, next up, we have a few improvements that will take the current FPS elements of Star Citizen from, as I say, feeling like an alpha to feeling more like a polished AAA
yes,
experience.
give me some of that shooting.
As we have seen at CitizenCon, there was a lot of updates and improvements coming to FPS combat that are all very much needed, as right now, FPS in Star Citizen can be quite janky and awkward,
It's
and
fun,
at times
though.
just frustrating or downright impossible. But features like reloading, being able to repool our ammo into magazines,
Oh, that's
pulling
cool.
a magazine from a backpack,
Nice.
with it taking a slightly little longer time to action. Weapons will wear and degrade.
I like this
which
so
will impact
much.
their weapons' performance and aesthetics.
Increases the
Misfires.
demand
The new scope visuals will
on
be
making
a very welcome
or
addition
keep
to bring them up
buying
to
those
the current
weapons.
gaming standard. Dynamic crosshairs for when you're wearing a helmet, letting you know exactly where your weapon will strike when fired. Plus
That's
the
so
charge
cool.
and drain mechanic, which means batteries, energy weapons running out of ammunition or energy, and will require recharging to be usable again. Which for items like the multi-tool will require planning and thought to make sure that you have the power you need for the job at hand. Now, this work is about bringing Star Citizen's FPS element to that current standard of what we expect and beyond from what we can see at CitizenCon, which has been a long time coming, so I am very grateful to see a lot of that rolling out within the first half. Now, another feature coming in the first half of this year is Eva Tier 2, and this has again been a long time coming. It's been in the works for quite a while, and will make any zero-G traversal situation so much better, smoother, and less frustrating.
Wait.
It'll also bring many quality of life improvements for this mechanic in general, and it
Does this
just looks much
fix
better as well.
the
allowing
gravity
for more
transition?
traversal opportunities,
Oh my
which will
gosh,
help to
yes.
expand on the gameplay and just make the overall experience more enjoyable. Exploring wrecks
Man,
and
that's
being
gonna be
able
great.
to pull yourself through
Always
the
that
interior
judder.
or along the exterior. EVA jets on your spacesuits won't necessarily come as standard and may need to be purchased separately. Fuel for the EVA jets as well will be finite and can deplete, leaving you stranded if there is no other option for maneuvering. So this is a wholesome update to a system that is heavily used and so needs to be everything that we want it to be.
Yep.
Next is a highly important update coming to the visor and lens UI. Now, the UI is going to see a lot of changes over the next year in many areas of the game, if not all areas of the game. And one in desperate need of improvement and cleaning up is the helmet visor HUD. Now, although there is a lot more work coming for helmet visors, like creating unique visor HUDs for the various range of helmet types like combat, mining, exploration, and so on. This work will just clean up the HUD and make it more legible, displaying information better and clearer than what we have now. Now, the same kind of goes for the lens UI in terms of cleaning it up anyway, but I really hope to see later down the line more variations between the lenses and making them also contextual to various game mechanics.
That'd
For
be
example,
cool.
It would be pretty cool and very useful if you were a bounty hunter to have a bounty hunter lens, allowing players to maybe scan other players or NPCs to see if they're your bounty without giving away that you are using some special device or your helmet. Now, this will just make the general UI displayed to us much more useful and less chaotic, and will really help to polish up what we have while paving the way for future gameplay, like the different helmet types and the ability to remove or put on your helmet, inspecting them, and having a boot up and power down sequence, which is something that I've been looking forward to ever since we saw that fancy helmet flip from before Arena Commander days. Anyway, next up we have the new interaction mode, which was an element again shown off at CitizenCon that will introduce a new way of interacting with everything in the game, giving us more options on how we interact with each type of item, be that instantly storing or equipping instead of the clunky pickup method that we have now.
Yes.
Now, the significance of this quality of life
That's all I'm
update
saying for
will
this
not be overlooked
whole
either,
react. I'm
as
like,
it
yes,
impacts everyone
more.
with everything we do. It is pretty much a system that is the most used, I would say, so it is very important that it is user-friendly and versatile while being...
I want to jump in on this for just a little bit because you'll hear me advocate for some friction within game systems because those frictions create demand from other game systems. However, like the user interface, things like the menus and all of that, the less friction there is, I think, is actually a good thing. So it's not like you want friction throughout, but there's a certain level in the game design and how players interact with it that friction creates demand, which then incentivizes natural player engagement into that, as opposed to the artificial method in which we see with things like dailies and login bonuses and so much more, where it's like, yeah, we're going to just shower you with rewards and you get addicted to that, as opposed to like, oh, the reason why you might want to be a shipper is because you can make all kinds of money and you can use that money to do all these other kinds of things because there is a demand, there's a need, there's a friction that exists. You know, that material just isn't available from an NPC. Like, somebody has to go get that and provide that to the overall game flow.
Capable of suiting every player's needs. It does look much cleaner, but until we get it in our hands, I am not sure how it will feel or how usable it will be, but I am definitely glad that they are removing that horrific glow from around an item. Now, the new looting screens are also coming this year, which will introduce this new quick loot screen to help players take only the items that are of immediate importance during a tense situation.
Yes.
Like ammo, weapons, grenades,
Love
med
it.
pens, and so on. This screen will not offer the option for seeing your character, but it will provide a much more streamlined process for getting the gear that you need in a pinch. Perfect. A very helpful addition that will make combat looting in dangerous situations far less problematic and a lot more efficient. Now, it was also mentioned that the new shopping and mission apps for the Mobiglass are on the way. The new shopping app we are yet to see anything of, so I can't speak about that.
Yeah, I love this new UI.
On the new mission app, albeit the
so
Squadron
nice.
42 sort of UEE Navy version, but we will see a Persistent Universe-specific updated mission app that will provide a lot more useful and coherent information regarding any mission that we have going. Again, these are more quality-of-life improvements that have been heavily needed for quite a while, and I think this will also include the updated Mobiglass itself, so a new home screen to provide relevant information at a glance, but also this updated Mobiglass will pave the way for many new Mobiglass apps, like the Bounty Hunting app, or Cargo Manifest app, or a trading app. So not only will it improve our experience of having a new, more user-friendly Mobiglass, it will also mean they can expand on the app options and take new game systems to a whole new level. Now, up next, we have the Character Customizer, and seeing this at CitizenCon, it is looking pretty incredible, and will offer not just more unique and defined characters,
Love it.
but a lot more diversity and choice of beards, tattoos,
Yeah,
scars,
beards, baby.
and piercings. Now, there is a lot more to come in the future for the Character Customizer, including many more hairstyles, but getting this into the Persistent universe will help the verse to feel so much more interesting and I really hope that this will allow us to physically identify our friends in-game simply based on how they look. Now, one of, if not the biggest new feature for many coming in the first half of this year is the new star map and associated maps like the mini-map. This is by far one of the most important and needed quality of life improvements that has been in the works for a long time. Having a map that can scale from the ground level all the way to the full universe level is going to be so helpful and allow for the expansion of other systems like the radar and scanning systems, opening up the potential of actual exploration. But also, this option to drop a pin and share or sell those coordinates to others should not be undersold. Having the ability to actually mark a location to be able to return to is of massive importance. For example, if you find a large quantity of quantanium, but you can't mine it all, you can set a marker there and then return to the location to finish the job. Now, I personally see myself using this coordinate system for when I'm out and about, just doing general stuff. And if I discover a wreck that I don't want to salvage there, or some cargo lying around that I can't fit in my hold, or maybe some minables, I will either place a marker to return to later, or I could offer those coordinates to the highest bidder over global chat, or just share them with my org mates so that they can benefit from them. Now, eventually, maybe not on the launch of the new star map, we will have a form of marketplace to offer these discoveries to anyone who is willing to pay for them, but I don't know if that will be possible with the first initial launch. Anyway, the significance of the new star map is huge and will impact everybody for the better, making navigation so much better and allowing for route plotting as well. Again, maybe not at launch for the full system, but eventually the star map will pull the live data from the game, displaying, say, pirate activity or other dangers to allow pilots to plot the route that they want while avoiding any obstacles. The minimap will also help when navigating these vast locations, again helping to plan ahead and save time being able to see where you need to go. Now, the new maps are another game changer in my opinion and vital to the expansion of Star Citizen, so I am very happy to hear that they're planning to release in the first half of this year. Now, the last feature that was stated is coming in the first half of this year are the distribution centers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I will be addressing these in a lot more detail in a separate video later on, as they are a lot more important than I first realized. Now, I won't go into it too much here, but the general gist of it is these locations will offer many different mission types, heavily play a role in the economy, and help to expand the cargo mechanics and profession massively. There are so much to these new points of interest that were purpose-built to offer as much gameplay as possible while cover as many other game areas as possible at the same time. Again, keep your eyes out for that video because there is a lot of detail in that I think most of us maybe hadn't realized, but seeing these monstrous points of interest come into the verse in the first half will be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Now, of course, throughout 2024, there will be a number of ships and vehicles released throughout the year. Many of them
gotta get paid, right?
Citizen Con, and I will link a previous video of mine covering what we saw and what could potentially come. But all that I spoke about here, aside from the ships and Alpha 4.0, are all slated to release within the first half of 2024. So what do CIG have planned for the second half? Now, the likelihood is some of these features might not make it into the first half of this year, so could slip or priorities could shift, but if Alpha 4.0 comes along around summertime, then there will be a good chance that many of the intended second half features are surrounding the new system. There was also a lot of stuff not mentioned here which I won't go into in this video, but I will create a separate video about them, which include features like the master modes for ships, hacking, bounty hunting, potential weather updates, creatures, maelstrom damage system, NPC improvements, and more points of interest, as well as base building, which is kicking off its work in Q1 next year.
Q1 next year, got it.
Could be progressing throughout next year, making their way closer to release. And that is only a few of them. There is probably a lot more that I haven't mentioned. As I say, I am working on a video covering what we haven't heard is coming, but could come next year, as many of these features finish their work on the progress tracker, so I think there's a good chance we will see quite a few of them. Now, to finish with, one thing that I am heavily anticipating to hear more about in the second half of next year, or towards the end of next year really, is Squadron 42. Right now, we know they are focused on polishing the campaign and then optimizing it, getting it ready for release. Now, this means there is a good chance that we could hear about a release date for the end of 2024 or early 2025. and with the majority of the teams who were working on Squadron now transitioning to the persistent universe,
I would put it at 18 months from when they announced. So yeah, maybe early 2025. If they hit 2024 and it comes sooner than I expect, mwah, by all means, let's go. However, I don't have the expectation that it is at the end of this year. Who knows? Could be completely wrong. It's kind of, we're still waiting to figure out when Blue Protocol, Throne of Liberty are going to be launching, and Amazon, that should be coming really soon, and we don't have a release date for that. So, you know what? More power to them. I'm just going to expect 2025.
It certainly bodes well for seeing much more progress on the persistent universe, far more than we have seen in previous years since they shifted focus to Squadron 42. But there you have it. That is all of the features that we know of coming in 2024, and then some that we could see as well. Now, as much as Cloud Imperium have outlined these plans themselves, for me, it is always a wait and see what happens and see what comes, as things can and will likely change throughout the year. But one thing is for certain, in my eyes, is that the Star Citizen that we are playing today is not going to be the same Star Citizen that we are playing later on this year. But with that said,
this time next year.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Do let me know what you are most excited for and why. And please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow. Also, come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. The link is in the description below. It is always a pleasure hanging out with you guys, talking about Star Citizen, its development, what features are coming, what you like to do in game now. It would be a pleasure to have you all over there. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favor, and tick that notification bell if you would like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, that was a great video. And yeah, for me to answer this question, first-person shooting updates, the cargo is interesting. I want to learn more about that. So if you got more resources on that, guys, send those my way. I will give that a watch. Third, though, I guess the second thing, the base building and kind of the general, like, I guess mining is interesting, but obviously that might not be till 2025. That's perfectly fine. But then the UI, the updates, like just the quality of life features that just I think are going to make this game feel even better overall. But guys, what are you guys the most excited about? Be sure to go check the links in the description for anything that you need. And yeah, thanks guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you hanging out with me while I get educated on Star Citizen. Hopefully you've been enjoying the content. And again, one recommendation for a video, check out my 2024 plans. There's a lot there, a lot to unpack that, yeah, I'd be very curious about your thoughts on that video as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time. But until then, take care.